Hi.
Good afternoon. Who's on the phone?
Juice.
Here's Sean Campbell.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
All right. So what happened in the emergency room?
It's interesting. It's interesting, Sean, because
I tried speaking first and then you fill in the blanks, Juice?
absolutely.
Coolios. Because I like to try to speak first. I like to be independent as possible. They were going to admit me. They were going to do IV antibiotics. The resident doctor said that. And then they were going to do the culture. They did blood work, and that was it. Then they ended up having the doctor in charge come in who said, no, we're not keeping you. We're just going to send a script of clindamycin. You give you clindamycin here at the hospital by pill. They gave me 2 of them. They never sent over the prescription for an egg because they wanted me to take both the doxycycline with the clindamycin. They also were going to order VNA nursing or some sort of nursing. They accused me for refusing wound care, which Andy has a wound care doctor already.
Who is your wound care doctor?
Dr. Jill at St. Joe's.
But you haven't contacted her for follow-up.
I was actually told by her, and I was going to call her office while we were after this appointment, while you guys are still here, so I want to get my appointment done first before calling this. I forgot to call yesterday. The plan was that Andy was supposed to follow up with a dermatologist for this, because
What? Who told you that?
the doctor, Jill. But she also wanted me to go for remember my first appointment, and they had said this, how they wanted me to have the, what do they call that thing? Oh God, they do that commercial all the time for Humira. They wanted me to have Humira.
No, that would do absolutely nothing for this condition. Absolutely nothing.
I didn't think so. They thought it was the immune system attacking it because the antibiotics pretty much become resistant.
No, that would not be helpful. That would make the condition worse.
And then he had also concern about when Dr. Fastenal had to read blood work, my blood cell thing, the shape or whatever, had some sort of different size with that they were watching with that. I forgot to say that to you.
All right. So you have not contacted Dr. Jill for follow-up?
No.
And you do not have the clindamycin?
I had the clindamycin gel, but that is only once a day. But that when I started using it twice a day there for a while, it was working really well. The issue is Andy's been off my routine all week. It's been a real hectic week for me. Too much things going on, and then Andy's been just.
All right. Well, we need to stick directly one thing at a time.
Okay.
Okay. So the clindamycin, I will send that over to Brighton Eggers. That was done. So you need to take that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You need to start that. You need to call the wound care. Dermatology will not manage this. Okay?
What about surgery?
I do not have a general surgeon who will take this. That is why we have the wound care clinic, because they can do surgery as well. Okay?
Yeah.
So you need to call her. You have.
That's the other thing is that she didn't feel it's really appropriate for surgery because of my sensory problem.
Well, that is why you need the wound care clinic then. Okay? So you have
And
to
that's Dr. Barone's concern too.
Dr. Barone does not even treat this condition anymore.
Really?
Nope. He is specifically, his group of surgeons which are affiliated with our practice do not treat this condition.
Oh.
Okay? So you need to make a follow-up appointment with the wound clinic.
Okay.
Because right now, you mentioned the VNA nurses, but when I previously tried to have them come out to you, they did not take your case because of your living situation right now. Whether that is right or wrong, I cannot answer that.
Oh, for the hotel?
Yes, but that is why...
Okay, can Andy just say this? Can you call my VNA OT person? As last year they made exceptions for that.
Well, I told you, I can tell you that I have a contact person at VNA, and she went to the management group, and we went higher than your person, and I was told that they would be unable to take the case at this time.
Wow.
Okay.
And yet last year they made accommodations. There was a flight system.
Well, I can't say what happened. I can tell you what I have done. Okay, I cannot tell you anything more.
Is there any other agency?
that will do wound care on the spot, not that I'm aware of. I think you need specialty care, and I think you need to be seen in the clinic with the security.
What about a hospital? Why can't they assist me until they get services? This is like,
okay.
I'm going for too long for me.
Okay, you're not letting me answer the question.
Sorry, I just
Okay.
want to add that other feeling part.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I do not have the ability to direct admit you into a hospital. The only way to get admitted to a hospital is through the emergency department, which we tried at Miller Fillmore Suburban, but they decided that you were not a candidate for admission because your lab work did not show significant concerns for sepsis.
Right. Can Andy ask you this? Unable to care for yourself, unable to have, your needs met independently, isn't that not a reason for admit?
That is a social issue, and that is sometimes people will be admitted for that reason if they have a plan to discharge you. I will tell you that that is, I have to ask Juice to kind of speak into that. We've been trying to get you placed for a while, and right now I don't know what the status is. If anything has changed. Can you comment on that, Juice?
Sure. So, in the next couple of days, probably one more week, first week of November, they're transferring him from all Erie County services to Niagara.
Okay.
So that's going to delay the process of getting certain things, right? Like a housing specialist kind of person. So what we thought about, Andrew and I, is kind of advocating for two things. One is a health homes worker, right, which you can initiate that, request to Medicaid. And then the other part, Sean, I don't know if this is something we should or shouldn't do, but briefly, Andrew had a history. His parents reported that he had jumped out of moving cars when he was younger, and that there was concussion.
Okay, let her speak, please.
Sorry, yeah.
There was evidence of concussions, right? Nobody confirmed that there was a quote real brain injury. But do you think we should pursue looking into that? Because the reason why I'm asking that is you can get a health homes worker, and that can help him with housing and help him get organized. There's things that a health home worker should do. But if there's a possibility that there could be some level of brain injury, then he could get a higher level of case management that's specific to TBIs.
We do question that from the 2005 accident I had, but why can I just remember all these facts? Why didn't really not change any of that stuff for my IQ? And then CAT scans had always showed no damage to it. So,
You had CAT scans in the past?
Yes, multiple, including the one from 2005 when he got hit by a car when trying to get to my only successful job, McDonald's. I was called in early. However, I never really had any long-term effects other than that year. Maximum Finnegan of Tim Conley type hockey injury. Remember those injuries? How they took for over a year to get better? I had headaches over a year. And he had trouble with,
Did you see a neurologist would be my question.
No, nobody referred me. You guys were, Dr. Jane and Dr. Tyler, they weren't my doctors at that point. I was still seeing my pediatrician at that point who didn't do anything for me or my brother.
Okay. Well, when was the last time you had a CT scan of your head or an MRI of your head?
Recently, within the last 6 months when I came to Mercy, would be one.
Yeah. If there's no significant findings on the CT, it will be very difficult to document a TBI.
That's
okay, and that's okay.
Nate said from Prime Care. Because technically, that would have gotten me either TBI or OPWD, but that was before my 22nd birthday.
Okay, well,
and that was OPWD's recommendation to get a brain scan too for this issue. Can we do a brain scan? Would that be helpful for what my diagnosis is?
That is what a CT scan is.
But there are brain function scans I've been aware of.
That is not anything that I could order.
A neurologist at then clinically do that, right? Because that's where you would have to go for.
Possibly, but if there's nothing that says there's structural damage,
But it could also rule out
Okay,
for
okay.
autism, sorry.
No, it
won't?
won't show anything for autism. All right.
As I forgot the scan name. It's where they tested where your different brain regions are active and not active.
Okay. I don't think that's going to help us today. Okay.
But
All right.
what about DNA thingy?
No.
Juice?
So, Sean, what happened in the ER is I'm not really sure in this area of DNA. So, we explained, so what you need to know as well, he will have no money for the next 6 weeks to 2 months. So, getting the medication,
And diapers.
Okay.
diapers are not something first. Getting any medication is going to be difficult. So, we didn't know. And quite frankly, we didn't know if we could even get the antibiotics. That was one of the reasons why I was pushing for admission just for a short term, so that he could get some of medication. I mean, from the pictures that he sends me, it looks pretty raw, right? So, I have never met Andrew in person, so because of my own medical health in pandemic and whatever else, I'm working remotely. So I'm sorry about that too, Sean. So my worry was at some point, it was unclear to me why, if I'm saying he's homeless and he has nothing to his name because we have to make this all work with Social Security and all other pieces of the system, why they don't let him be admitted, because I don't know if I can get medicine in him, right? So I still don't know if the medicine that you would right now he could get for free, you know what I mean, like with no copay. So that's my first concern. But the second thing is, in the hospital, they had said, we're going to get you an antibiotic, we're going to get you VNA to visit. Then they came back with, no, you're not getting it. You can go to UCMC every day. And that was like a no. I mean, why are you saying that to a homeless man? Did you even think about what you're asking for?
Yeah,
Even though he has?
No mention of that whatsoever. They just,
It was an inappropriate referral.
One because technically not have your basic medical needs, you can get 941 for medical admit. That's what Andy's been trying to shoot for, because I've been even, actually I think I was on papers going to Millicum or Juice, just to let you know, because Andy saw the what looks like a 941 paperwork for the medical issue. But my needs are not met. That's what law enforcement has been saying. That's why state police is involved. For there's abuse and neglect. I can't take care of myself on my own.
Okay, wait. Andrew,
I'm smart.
At this point-
Sorry.
at this point, we're going to run this. We're going to do a different kind of plan with you, right? Sean, if we really can't get a VNA, then Andrew, we're really going to call your wound specialist, because I wanted an interim to clean it. Like, I wanted somebody to help. From what it looked like, so understand, I probably get a shot of pictures of these every.
I've seen them.
Yeah, he's also.
Okay, so it looks like every 8 to 10 days I get something, and the progression now looks like it's at a level that it needs it, right? So I don't know honestly what happened in this ER, because they came in with, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and they came out with nothing. So the VNA idea was a great idea just for stabilization and a link until he returned back to the wound specialist. Do you think that that's the correct way we should go, or should we just make that appointment? Because I think the frequency of the wound specialist looked like it was about once a month. It didn't look like it was like weekly, every 3 days. It didn't look like anything. That's why I'm worried about the process of that clinic.
Well, the problem is I don't have another solution. I right now I don't know what the other solution is besides returning to the clinic.
Okay, that's okay, Sean. I'll support that. That's not a problem.
Do hospitals send out people with who are do hospitals send out people with Alzheimer's without having services at home? No, that's the thing Eddie's fighting about.
Not helpful. okay?
I'm complaining to Medicare and they expect nothing for the concept
That's
of
okay. We need to focus on this situation right now, okay? Running off on complaints isn't going to help us,
Yeah.
okay?
The other piece is, so Andrew, we're going to move with making an appointment. You know the numbers. So you'll make the appointment.
With you just so you can help me get there sooner.
I don't know, but I will try. The other part is, I don't know if you have connections linked to them so that you can call as well, Sean. But
I don't even, where is the wound clinic?
I gave the phone number to your nurse yesterday. 891-2570 is the phone number.
Where is it at?
St. Joe's. 8. Killing me, I just had it. 891-2570.
I can send the contact information over there. I can have my nurse call and explain the need of what's going on, and then see if that can expedite an appointment. Certainly that can be done. That's not a problem. Whether that helps get things up to the side, I don't know. Okay? But, I mean, certainly we can do that. Okay?
This is the doctor I see. Dr. Jill is her first name.
Okay.
okay, so that was our part. Sean, are you allowed? Can you guys do the health homes referral?
I have never done a health home referral. I wouldn't even know where to start, to be honest.
Do you want to call Medicaid and ask if you can? Usually we get social workers / mental health social workers, right? And or medical doctors to do it. Because of the
we have never done anything before. If it's just a referral.
Dr. Jane referred me to Catholic Health Homes, but I'd rather not deal with them. How they did not do anything for me to help me at all. Dawn was like the worst person ever, and yet Andy was with them for 6 years, and yet, or whatever it was, and she did nothing.
You know what, Sean? Would you be okay if I look into that and I'll keep you posted?
Independent living center I would like to go back to for referral for them.
All right. Well, okay. Yes, Juice, that's fine if you want to call it. It's not something we've done before.
Okay. If I need a medical, then I'll call out. When the next visit happens, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I will. So I'll do it.
Please, can she be my health homes worker again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually want a special health homes worker. There's a health homes worker for medical, and there's health home workers for mental health.
Yeah.
And I want a mental health one for you.
But I've been through those programs that they always said no, because they don't have the SBMI. This is the whole thing that Andy's fighting. Why can nobody get me help?
Okay, we're not there. Stay focused on our next thing. So, okay, so here's my next question, Sean. Can you, I don't know if you think his level of care deems health aides, right? Because right now, he cannot do laundry. He cannot go shopping. Everything.
But I need help getting there.
Everything is about assistance, right? So, like, I keep thinking to myself, how do I solve it, right? Because he's going to Niagara County. My CEO is not going to continue for the rest of his life to transport him to every appointment for the rest of his life. We're going to have to do systems. The systems are going to have to pick up because...
Right, why is he going to Niagara County? Why are they transferred to Niagara County? That's the one thing you told me is going to happen, but you didn't say why. I'm just curious.
APS.
Okay, so here's a summation of what happened, Sean. I've only been working with him since end of July forward. One of the things that happened is there became a conflict with APS and Andrew. Part because they thought he was manipulating information, misinforming and misrepresenting his condition. And part is because there was a personal conflict because his approach to communicating to people wasn't always nice. And then the last part is his recording and suing and threatening created a wedge between him and that department.
You should have helped me 3 years ago.
So what ends up happening, Sean, is that it gets pretty aggressive in process. So we moved to Niagara County for the hope that we could start over.
Sean, they're afraid of talking to Juice even on three-way.
Okay.
They're sorry.
Right.
They should have helped me when you guys referred me with Dr. James. They won't.
Okay.
They're supposed to keep
We're getting off track here, okay?
Right.
Because I'm trying to work the medical issues here, okay? And fortunately, a lot of this is social that I have limited ability and direction to do, to influence. And that unfortunately is a problem because, I mean, I can prescribe the medications for you. If you can't get them, I don't know how to assist that. I don't have the ability to direct admit into a hospital. I don't have any influence over them. I can contact the wound clinics. These are things that we can do to try and facilitate care.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's very limited things that I can do as a primary care office to influence the social situation.
So
Okay?
why aren't these hospitals doing this? It's actually legal. It's unsafe discharges.
Andrew, do not waste Sean's time with this. He has other patients. We got to get to the medical issues. We want an antibiotic. If you're saying no VNA, then we're going to call the wound specialist. I'm going to take care of the homes worker. Is there any other concerns? His gastric, he was talking about he had GI issues. The clarity about that, John, I really need to know. I know he wasn't eating. Wait, please. I know he wasn't eating because of the sparseness of the diapers. So is it, I still think we should probably get that revisited just to rule out ulcers. I don't like that. He talked about his stool being black. He talked about...
But he's on iron, so that's
Yeah, but
normal.
he hasn't been taking that, so I forget a lot.
okay.
And Andy, I know what GI bleed usually looks like because it's actually the iron doesn't have any effect of that when they do take it.
Okay.
But Andy took it the last 3 days and my stool is back to normal.
Alright.
So that's an issue.
Alright.
However, Dr. Fedorelli sees me in December.
Alright.
Okay,
There's,
fine. Then we'll move GI to December. That's fine. The other piece I wanted to know,
I mean, I can't even get my urology appointment for the testing, but that requires an antibiotic. And how do you think we pay for this stuff?
I actually don't know what Medicaid will pay for or not, but I am wondering, Sean, I asked a nurse, I'm sorry, I forgot. I really feel like her name was Gail, but I could be wrong. Sorry if I am.
alright.
But I asked about, so we got some clarification about medical coverage and what is and what isn't. But I'm not fully there yet because I'm going to be pursuing legal review of his medical because there are parts of his story I don't get, right? So he has Medicare and Medicaid Advantage that is hidden in Univera. Usually Medicaid Advantage is given to people that are lower income, right? But at this point, we have no idea if Social Security put him in there or someone else. But the concern I have is that he could be in the wrong medical, which then is the reason why he's paying copays, right? So I will sort that out. But what I asked your nurse or your staff was if they submitted the request for his diapers because I was looking for the denial letter. Because we're going to write an appeals.
Well, I don't know if there's a denial letter in here. There's hundreds of documents. I will have to ask Jennifer on it, who was working for this, and see what came back.
I just want to be normal. I have all these facts and I can't use them being independent. It makes me feel bad.
All right. I will have to look for the denial letter. I don't know what
Okay.
the denial